As much as I've been working and as much progress as I feel like I've made, I just keep thinking to myself, where can I fit more stuff in? Where can I fit more food in? I guess I'm so used to having big rectangular gardens with lots of rows, and I have these drawings grown out where it's showing me having 85 feet of this and 110 feet of that, and that's all great. But that's not really how my gardens are this year. That's not really how my growing is this year. And I'm happy about that. I like my new system. I like my peruse around the yard and kind of something's growing everywhere kind of thing. I like that. I do have my corn patch that is rectangular. And that's been on my mind today. And so has other areas of my other garden today and yesterday. I wasn't really going to film Easter weekend, but we had some sick grandchildren and sick daughter, and all our plans got messed up for today. So I ended up out here in my yard this afternoon doing gardening when I wasn't even planning on doing anything today. So I just thought I would show you today a few ideas I had about growing some more food, kind of in spaces I already had, and just utilizing things I already have on my property. I am going to have to buy a few more T-posts, but I think it'll pay for itself in the long run. So let me show you what my ideas are and run this by you. There's always somewhere you can squeeze some more gardening in. This might seem like a repeat of a video I did last year because I was talking about how without some type of string and border around my gardens, my dogs will run through them. And they do. And they're dogs. They're going to do that. I understand. But last year what I did, and I was at my old property, so this is what I used. I used the sand that was on the beach and stuff at my old property. I filled buckets with the sand and I placed them around the perimeter of my other gardens. And then I just ran string from bucket to bucket. And it works pretty good. My dogs really just, once that little string's there and those buckets are there, they lose interest and they just go around it pretty much. I'm not going to say it's a perfect system, but pretty much. But this year I haven't really focused on it. Well, I walked out here this morning and there they were running through this garden when my son was out with them, letting them go to the bathroom and everything. So I was like, my corn's planted there, my edamame, I've got black-eyed peas, bush beans, everything, and it's all coming up right now. I don't want it squished. So what do I have? What can I use that I already have? Well, I had 5 T-posts. At first I was just going to use a post at each corner all the way around the garden and just do the string on the post instead of sand buckets. But then I started thinking, my first thought was, maybe I could put 6 or 8 little pole beans around each pole and let them grow up those poles and still have the string going all the way around. And then when I came out and I counted my T-posts and I saw I had 5, I was like, well, maybe I can do better than that. Maybe if I put these other 2 posts in the middle, I'm going to run string between all these posts, all up and down there. And what I'm going to do is, I have plenty of dirt still. I just have been digging on that dirt and digging on it, and I still have so much dirt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put dirt all down the bottom of these posts. I'm going to kind of stand even with them. I'm going to do the dirt pretty much even with these posts, maybe shy it a little bit to this side, but pretty much go down this row with some of that dirt. But when I plant my seeds, I'm going to plant them on this side of the poles, almost to the edge of the poles, but shine them to the right side of whatever string I put up. That way I can grow some pole beans. Why not use this spot? It's already pretty much cleared out. The grass is off of it. What I can do is put my dirt, plant seeds, grow pole beans, but I can come back after I plant the beans and put wood chips all along the bottom on the edge and kind of wrap this little thing on the right side with wood chips and on the ends with wood chips. And that way it'll kind of start smothering out this grass here, which will actually help me with some weed control to not encroach to my big garden. So I felt like that's a good plan. And if it works on this side of the garden, why not bring it to this side of the garden? I have 5 posts, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go buy 4 more green ones that look just like that, and I'm going to do the same thing down this side of the garden. I don't have as much of a dirt barrier over here, but I'm still going to go for it. I'm going to hope that the dirt and the wood chips kind of smothers out as much of this grass as possible on this side, and I can just really get after it. I can even take my little plow if I want to and kind of go along this and get some of the grass out before I even put the dirt. But basically, I'm going to put 4 more posts, and I'm going to plant to the outside of the post, and I'm going to have some more pole beans. What I'm probably going to do is plant half runners, because the half runners will only go about 3 or 4 feet tall up into your string and everything. They're not going to get 7 feet tall and flop over and come down the other side because they overgrow so much. They're only going to get 3 or 4 foot tall. But half runners put off just as many beans as pole beans do. I don't know why, but half runner beans are becoming very, very popular. And this was according to a grower whose video I watched one night, and he was doing kind of like a class, a workshop on how to grow vegetables to sell to suppliers. And he was recommending that people transfer over to half runners. So anyway, I don't care about all that. What I really care about though is that they don't grow so tall that they shade out my okra and my cucumbers and things like that. The half runners are probably 65 to 70 day. It'll take them a little while to come up. In the meantime, this stuff is already coming up. You can see there, my cucumbers are already coming up. Now I planted Silver Queen okra, I believe, down on this end. One of them has come up. It's a little yellow looking, but I think that's okay. It'll be okay when it starts growing. Got more cucumbers here, but that's about all the Silver Queen that's kind of come up. That might be a little one there coming up, that yellow. But down at this end, I have cucumbers coming up, but I also have the heavy hitter okra coming up. I planted cucumber, okra, okra, and on and on and on, all the way down. So they're already coming up. By the time these beans start coming up, some of this stuff will have a little bit more growth on it, hopefully. So I'm thinking it'll all be okay. And that the okra will get a little height to it. And the cucumbers, they're gonna go kind of out into the row anyway. I'm not really worried about those. And this does get full sun during the day. Certain parts of the day it gets a little shade toward the evening, but all day long it's in full sun, so I'm not really too worried about it. On the back end, I'll just have string from one post to the other. Not worried about growing anything on the ends because I don't want to interfere with my water flow going down these rows, coming from the hill and coming down the hill. I'll just put string from that post to the post that'll be here. I really wish I could put wood chips all along this front edge to help with my grass situation, but it would also stop the flow of water from coming in here to water my corn and everything, and the corn needs water. And having it this way is, I can already tell, is working. It's holding moisture, and my corn should be very, very happy here. The corn is coming up back there, but it's still small, and it rained a couple days ago, but I think it's dry enough to walk on. Anyway, my corn is coming up. It's coming up all down these rows. This row here is really showing. But on to my next thing. Let me show you what I'm doing. Over here at the corner of my trailer, I had made me another little pole bean stand using the azalea branches. And I had planted the Hedrick greasy cut short beans at the bottom of that, and those are coming up. Well, I had this 5th post. So I decided to, instead of using it over there and just going and buy 3 more, I kind of glanced over here and I thought, you know, this isn't really grassy. I can handle this grass pretty easy. That's dirt. I thought, why not just add this 1 post here? It'll kind of crawfish off of this post here. I can do wire back and forth, string, whatever I want to do. I can do those back and forth. And I can make me another 8-9 feet right here of a place to put pole beans. I mean, why not do it? I've got the extra post coming off of this. It'll block even more view of things back there if I just go ahead and put it. And I'm thinking it's a good use for that post. So that's what I'm going to do right here. I'm going to bring some more dirt. Going to bring some more wood chips and wrap around it. And going to go look at my seeds and pick out another variety that I've been dying to plant but just haven't had the space, and I'm going to do it now. The motivation that I have to plant some of these seed varieties that I have. That's what gives me the energy to come out here and find a place to put things. That's what makes me want to create new beds and all, because I have so many varieties I want to try. I'm gonna go through them later, and I might even post at the end of this what I've decided to plant there. But that's what gives me the energy and the excitement to garden. I love trying out new varieties, and I love trying out new seeds. I got one more place to show you though that I created yesterday. It's not gonna be my last. I'm still going. I've still got a lot of dirt, a lot of wood chips, and a lot of energy. But here's something I did yesterday that is gonna give me even more area to plant a few things. I'll step back here to kind of show you where I'm going with this. This is all the beds to the right of my driveway. That's my corn patch. Going toward my house yesterday, I created another bed. I hate to call plants ugly, but I kind of had some little ugly bulbing type things that were just growing in a clump about right there. They had a little conifer type ground cover bush at the bottom, and I thought, you know, I'll keep that. It's been there forever. But I decided not to. Let me show you what it was, and you might understand why I decided to kind of move it from my front yard. It was just basically front and center when I looked out of my door. It's these things right here. They're not gorgeous. I've been waiting on them to turn more green and more gorgeous, but they're still looking pretty sad. But they've been here for years. The previous owner had planted them, and I don't know what their potential is because I don't really know what they are. I've never grown them before. So I didn't want to just get rid of them and burn them or anything. So I moved them over here by the air conditioner. My friend Mella had suggested that to kind of cover the bottom of this air conditioner, and I thought that was a great idea. So that's where I put them yesterday. And actually, I dug them up in big clumps, and I put the big clump onto my shovel, and then I walked them back here with my shovel and set them in little trenches that I had dug, and then I covered up the whole bundle with dirt. Well, I set a big bundle into the trench yesterday, and I started to cover it with dirt, and I was looking at a snake. I had walked all the way across my yard with a snake on my shovel with that clump of bulbs. So didn't scare me. I don't know why. I wasn't really that scared. He could have bit me, and he didn't. So it's just a lesson learned. I should have really looked good before I grabbed that up, put it on my shovel, and walked across my yard. So I dug all that up yesterday. I dug it all up. I spent a lot of time pulling all the grass off of this section underneath this dirt down here. And I brought in some dirt and made me a bed. I'm gonna go ahead and plant things in it so I'll have freedom of movement. Then I'm gonna come back around and ring it with wood chips to it. I tell you what, those wood chips are doing a fantastic job of keeping grass away from my beds. I'm very, very rarely getting grass into these beds right now. I'm sure as summer goes on I might get more, but right now it sure is helping a lot. I've already planted some of this bed. I planted from about there to there on both sides, 18 seeds on both sides. I planted some cranberry beans. I've grown those before. They grew very well for me. It's a bean that you don't harvest as a snap bean. You let it go to either the green stage and do a shelling bean, or you let them dry and do dry beans. But they tasted so good when I cooked them. I enjoyed cooking them. They're very tasty. I'm going to grow some more of those. At the corners, the front corners, since like that corner and that corner are the corners that will get the most sun coming from the east and the south, I put some sugar baby watermelon seeds there. This is the first watermelons I planted this year. They won't be competing with anything else for cross-pollination. So I just put some seeds here and there, and they will vine out towards the driveway, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. On the back corners there and that back corner, I put some Merlot Butterhead lettuce seeds. I got those seeds from Johnny's a couple of years ago. I had never planted them, but they are specifically a variety that you do plant towards the summer. Like it said on my spreadsheet to plant them in May or June. That might have been what Johnny recommended, but they're up in Maine. So I went ahead and planted them now down here in April. But they are very heat tolerant, and they're a plant that's supposed to be able to be planted even though it'll turn hot towards the summer later, and it's still supposed to grow. I don't know, but I've got nothing to lose to try it. If so, I'll end up with 10 heads of Butterhead growing back here. I'm saving the space down the middle, just straight down the middle of this bed, to put pepper plants. I have got a whole lot of pepper plants in the pipeline, and I've got to have places to put them. So I think I can put at least, I don't know, 6 or 7 or 8 plants here, but at least 6 for sure. And that'll give me a good place to put the peppers. I can reach in and harvest the peppers really easy, even over those cranberry plants. And I think it'll all work out great. I think I'm done a pretty good job of planning it out to maximize what I'm growing in this one simple bed. Now, just by combining my projects today, like needing to fence the dogs out of that corn patch and having the T-post and then deciding to go ahead and make it a pole bean stand, I was able to add another 72 row feet to my ability to plant pole beans. That's a lot of pole beans. And then I did the other one at the corner of my house. That's about another 9 foot of pole beans. Well, I can plant on both sides of those posts, so that's about another 18 foot of a pole bean. That's one good package of some of these heirloom varieties I have. So I'll plant the whole package there. And then this bed here, if all goes well, hopefully it will, I'll have enough probably of the cranberry beans for at least a good cooking. Then hopefully I'll have some sugar baby watermelons. I have grown those before and I've had good luck with them, so don't see why not. I'll have some butterhead lettuce, and then hopefully a whole bunch of peppers can start popping off there from now until it gets to be fall. So that's a pretty good little day or two of work to put some more things in my garden to grow and to make some more spaces for them and try to get creative using what I have and using the seeds I have. But it's not over though. Still got a lot of dirt you can see behind me. Got a lot of wood chips. Got a lot of seeds. And my mind's just going 90 miles an hour. And this doesn't count the fact that I can replant in the places I've already started when these things are done. So there'll always be a way to succession plant even in the beds you've created. But I still want to put a few more things in new beds. And so that's where my mind's working right now. I'll update you later how that comes out. Thank y'all for joining me. This is Lainey at Hilltop Home Place. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.